For weeks, Iran thought it had already won, and for a while, looking at the numbers, it was hard to argue otherwise. Over 100 vessels a day were transiting the Strait of Hormuz before this conflict began. By early March, that number had collapsed to 3, maybe 4 on a good day. Oil prices had crossed $100 a barrel. Shipping insurers had pulled out entirely. And sitting behind all of it, buried deep inside Iran's coastal mountains, was a missile network so sophisticated, so deeply hidden, that the world's most advanced military had spent years trying to figure out how to destroy it. Iran knew this. Tehran had planned for exactly this moment. And then, on March 17th, the United States did something that changed the entire equation. Not with a fleet, not with a ground force, with a bomb that most of the world had never even heard of. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not just the story of a military operation. It is the story of a strategic miscalculation 2 decades in the making, and the single night that exposed it completely. The world's busiest choke point went silent almost overnight. Automatic identification system logs, usually crowded with over 100 vessels weaving through the Strait of Hormuz each day, now registered only 3, sometimes 4. Oil tankers, bulk carriers, container ships, gone. The waterway that once moved a fifth of global crude slowed to a crawl. The ripple hit markets instantly. Brent crude shot past $100 a barrel, peaking at $106. The price curve didn't just bend, it snapped upward, dragging freight costs and fuel surcharges with it. For shipping companies, the risk became unmanageable. Lloyd's quadrupled war risk premiums for any vessel daring to run the gauntlet. What used to cost $12,000 a voyage now demanded $45,000. Some insurers pulled out entirely, leaving ships stranded or rerouting around Africa, adding weeks and millions in extra costs. The strait had become a financial minefield, not just a military one. Each hour it stayed closed, billions evaporated from the global economy, all of it orchestrated from deep beneath Iran's coastal mountains, where missile crews waited in tunnels, untouched and unchallenged. But the illusion of invulnerability was about to meet a weapon designed for one purpose: finding and destroying what everyone else thought was untouchable. Beneath the barren ridges of the Iranian coast, the real heart of Hormuz's defense pulsed out of sight. The missile tunnels, dug 30 to 40 meters deep into limestone and marl, were no rumor. Synthetic aperture radar and leaked schematics from Almar analysts confirmed a labyrinth, 14 main shafts, each feeding double launch alcoves, everything reinforced in steel and concrete. These were not just storage bunkers. Each vault held racks of Noor, Qatar, Abu Mahdi, and Hormuz 2 missiles, 4 classes, 4 threats, each with its own reach. Noor, the workhorse, could strike ships up to 200 kilometers out. Qatar pushed that envelope to 300 kilometers. Abu Mahdi, the long-range ace, could hit targets 1,500 kilometers away, far beyond the Gulf. Hormuz 2, the newest, was designed for stealth, hugging the sea at 150 kilometers, almost invisible to radar. Reloads were not slow. Automated canister systems swapped missiles in under 6 minutes. Every alcove was climate-controlled, kept at 15 degrees Celsius to preserve propellants, and manned around the clock by rotating crews of 40. The tunnels branched into drone bays, compact and shielded, launching Shahed 129s and loitering munitions that piped real-time targeting data back to the launch teams. Fiber optic lines, buried alongside air ducts, carried encrypted commands to every corner. Even if one line was cut, microwave repeaters kept the kill chain alive. Every detail was built for one purpose: to survive the first strike and keep firing. For 2 decades, Tehran's planners believed these depths made them untouchable. Legacy bunker busters dented entrances but never reached the core. The world watched the surface, but the real arsenal waited underground until a new weapon changed the rules. 5,000 pounds of titanium alloy and tungsten, shaped for one purpose, cutting through the illusion of safety. The GBU-72 Advanced Penetrator is not just a bomb, it is a physics problem solved at Mach 0.85. Its casing, forged to survive the first brutal seconds of impact, punches through up to 30 feet of reinforced concrete or 100 feet of packed earth before the delayed fuse even thinks about firing. Inside, a high-density core and delayed detonation chemistry borrowed from the massive ordnance penetrator give it the muscle to reach targets buried 30 to 40 meters below ground, right where Iran's missile tunnels live. Guidance is ruthless. GPS-aided inertial navigation steers the bomb to within 5 meters of its mark, even in the electromagnetic chaos of a modern battlefield. If jamming is detected, the inertial system takes over, riding out the last seconds on pure math. On the F-15E, a single GBU-72 hangs from the wing, guided by a laser for pinpoint strikes on high-value nodes. The B-1 Lancer, built for speed and payload, can carry up to 12 inside its bomb bays. But for the Hormuz operation, each bird flew with 2, trading mass for range and maneuverability on the long haul from Fairford. It is all arithmetic, tunnel depth, rock density, impact velocity, fuse delay. The numbers add up to a simple outcome. Where older bunker busters failed, the GBU-72 is built to collapse launch alcoves, shatter command nodes, and leave no sanctuary deep enough. 14 bombs dropped in a single morning, each one a proof that the old rules, dig deep and survive, no longer apply. March 17, 2026. The operation unfolded with the precision of a chess move, quiet, calculated, and devastating. At 5:30 Coordinated Universal Time, B-1 Lancers loaded with GBU-72 penetrators stood ready at RAF Fairford, each bomber carrying 2 of the 5,000-pound bunker busters. By 7:10 Coordinated Universal Time, the first wave lifted off, hugging a low-altitude corridor across Europe and the Mediterranean, slipping beneath what remained of Iran's battered radar net. An F-15E Strike Eagle, armed with a single GBU-72, launched from Qatar, racing toward its target at treetop level. The airspace over the Strait of Hormuz was no longer the fortress Iran once believed. Epic Fury and Roaring Lion had already shattered 85% of Iranian radar coverage. Only 2 of the original 10 search radars remained. For the bombers, the threat of interception had collapsed. The B-1 Lancers released their payloads between 9:02 and 9:30 Coordinated Universal Time, 14 bombs in total, targeting 4 main underground sites. Each GBU-72 drove deep, delayed fuses, counting down in darkness before detonating at depths of 30 to 35 meters. Satellite images from Maxar captured the aftermath: 7-meter craters, smoke plumes, and the unmistakable signature of a tunnel system breached from within. CENTCOM confirmed the strike in a terse statement. All identified hardened sites were destroyed. Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping has been significantly reduced. Admiral Brad Cooper, speaking to Fox News, said the United States will not tolerate weapons that threaten global commerce. He added that the GBU-72 proved we can defeat even the most deeply buried threats. Every word was a warning. The illusion of invulnerability, 2 decades in the making, had been shattered in a single morning. The 48-hour ultimatum had expired. The world now saw the cost of defiance. April 7th, New York. The United Nations Security Council chamber fills with tension as France and the United Kingdom present a draft resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire United Nations verification, and a multinational force to guarantee safe passage through Hormuz. The vote is swift. 12 vote in favor, but Russia and China reach for the veto. Moscow calls the United States strike an illegal act of aggression, and Beijing warns against external interference. The resolution collapses. The European Union, through its External Action Service, issues a public statement backing the need for free navigation, but stops short of endorsing new military deployments. Germany and Spain echo calls for restraint, declining to join any coalition led by the United States. France offers only defensive patrols. India, outside the Council but directly exposed, announces its Navy will escort Indian-flagged tankers through the Strait, invoking energy security over alliance politics. The diplomatic split is unmistakable. Washington and London push for action, Europe hesitates, Russia and China block, and regional powers hedge. The world's response fractures along old and new lines. What began as a missile problem now threatens to redraw the map of global maritime security. The question of when the GBU-72 first drew blood has never been settled. In 2024, the war zone claimed the weapon had already been used against Houthi targets in Yemen, citing unnamed officials and whispers from defense contractors. Hal Kempfer, a retired Marine intelligence officer, pushed back hard. On the record, he called the report speculative, pointing out that crater analysis from satellite images in Yemen showed nothing matching the GBU-72 signature. Pentagon spokespeople denied any operational use before 2026, insisting the bomb was still in testing. No seismic data, no confirmed blast patterns, no flight logs released under FOIA. Even now, the exact number of tunnel shafts destroyed in Hormuz is unknown, 14 bombs, 4 main sites, but the true layout remains classified. OSINT analysts are left piecing together commercial SAR tiles and leaked comms, chasing shadows in the rock. The facts are partial, the evidence incomplete. Every unanswered question leaves a crack in the narrative, and every gap is a reminder in this war of tunnels and rumors, certainty is just another casualty. Tonight, the myth of the untouchable strait is broken. March 17th proved that a single GBU-72 can redraw boundaries Iran spent decades fortifying. The world's oil now flows at gunpoint, and every calculation in Tehran, Washington, and beyond must reckon with a reality that changed in one night. Your move.